having a very good November and enjoying these holiday times. I do count November as the holiday times. I feel like Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas is just this wonderful bundle of joy, of decorations and festivities and gatherings and good food. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful holiday season. We are going to do a fun beading class today. This is actually a pretty easy one. We are going to make beaded rings out of stretch cord. So we're going to do stacking beaded rings. So I have a couple on right here. So what's neat is we have kind of your basic one, and we're actually going to do a double surround on it for stability. So that's a little bit different than when we do a traditional stretch bracelet. So this is the single. But we're also going to be doing one with SuperDuos. So that's a really fun thing. If you like using SuperDuos, maybe you haven't done them with stretch before, it's really easy to do it as a ring, and you can adapt that to a bracelet as well. And I see Marianne is here, hello, and Linda in Boston, and Monica and Tanya, hello you guys, and Monique. And Thaisa is helping us in the background. So we have lots of good support today too. And I have to say, I've been wearing this ring for a little while. It's super comfortable. So we'll talk about sizing. We'll talk about how to get the right fit as well, but it is stretch, which is nice. And the beads are very smooth. So when you're picking out beads, you want to pick out smooth ones and ones that are not too big either. So we'll talk about all of that. Hello, Teresa in LA. We're about to get more rain here. I think around noon, the next wave of water or wave of rain is coming through here. Hello, Dee and Kara. Hello, and Kathleen. Good morning, everybody. So I'm saying good morning because it is morning for me. It's 9 o'clock Pacific time here on the West Coast, but I know some of you are on the East Coast and having lunch, or some of you are in Iceland or Europe, wherever you are coming from. Thank you so much for joining us. I see Jan T is here, and Jane and Kathy and Jane from Albuquerque. Hello. Oh, thank you. We have fun here at Beadaholique. Hello, Annie from Chicago. Oh, dreary. Oh, no. Hello, BB. Oh, North Carolina. How nice. And Burl, hello. And Maggie from Oklahoma. And Netta, hello from North Carolina. Nice. And Linda. All right, we have a really nice group here today. This is the best community. Everyone is so supportive and helpful. I love it. So we are making beaded stretch rings today. So I'm wearing one right here if you just joined us. We are also going to talk about some seed beads I have to show you. We got these really cool bundles here at Beadaholique. So even though we are going through our closing sale, I do have some really fun stuff to show you, which is great. And we're still doing these videos. And a question we get a lot is, will these videos still be available, still be saved, even after Beadaholique closes? And the answer is yes. We're going to keep our YouTube channel up where all of these are archived. So you can always go back and rewatch, which is so nice. And I see Netta is here, and Francie, and Lisa from Pennsylvania, and Kara, hello. So if you ever want to go back and rewatch these shows, you can. A couple other kind of fun things to note is we have, well, everything's 40% off, so that's always good. But we've got, with this platform, we have the floating hearts. So if you click on the heart icon, it gives me floaty hearts. If you want to save this to yourself, I've been told you can share this video to yourself, and that will save it for you, but you can also share it to your friends with the little arrow icon. And then everything you're going to see today is preloaded into the shopping bag. So you just click on the shopping bag icon. It's like a gallery of everything I'm going to use. And that's a good resource. Hello, Joyce, as well. From Chicago. We got a couple from Chicago today. I saw a couple North Carolina, a couple Chicago. That's super fun. All right, so I'm going to flip my camera down. We're going to look at what we're going to make. We're going to talk about the supplies. We'll talk about sizing, all that good stuff. So let's make some stretch stacking beaded rings. And we have a visitor. Let me just get this out of the way. She is going to be joining us today, it appears. Hello, girly. Okay, she's like, what is all this fun stuff? Okay, so this is my beading table today. I want to be able to show you it. And it's moving. It's moving because we got a little helper here. Hello, Sue. And Donna, hello. Yes, Twix is here today. She came running when I set this up. I think she's starting to know what this setup means. Like when she sees the lights and she sees me setting the beading mat up, I think she now knows what it is. All right, I want to show you a close-up of the SuperDuo ring. So this here is the SuperDuo ring. It's very easy to do. Now, we've talked about SuperDuos before. SuperDuos are 2-hole beads But what's really nice about these type of 2-hole beads is there's no front, there's no back, there's no left, there's no right. It's very easy to work with them. So if you've never worked with SuperDuos before or never worked with 2-hole beads, these are super easy and very forgiving. Oh, thank you, Marianne. Oh, I love it. Kara saying my cat helps as well. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Okay, so we're going to work with SuperDuos, and this is stretch. We do have this on stretch cord, which definitely helps with sizing. And so that's what we're going to do with this. It requires 1 SuperDuo and then either 1 or 2 colors of an 8/0 Toho round. Oh, hello, Janet from Northeast Texas and Hannah from Iceland. Hello. And then we're also going to make just a regular single ring, and you can make a bunch of sets of these if you wanted to, and they just slide on. And you can make it stacking, so you can do 2, 3, 4 of these. And this is just a single, but we're gonna actually go through with the stretch fiber twice, just to make it a little bit more secure. So that actually has 2 rounds of stretch cord in there. So those are the things we're gonna make today. I have a whole assortment of beads. I kind of have like a purple turquoise collection and like a more warmer gold, pinky mauve tones as well. So we're going to do that. So let's just go ahead and get started. And then I have something to show you at the end, which is kind of fun. We have these giant bags of Toho beads that I'll show at the end. And Deb showed them off on her show on Tuesday. So, okay. So for this, I do recommend a twisted wire needle. If you want, you can try it without it, because I always like to say, like, there's more than one way of doing something. I prefer the twisted wire needle. You can also use a big eye needle. You can, try it without a needle. Experiment what works for you. I find the twisted wire needles work really well for me with the stretch cord, but I always like to preface it that you don't have to use it, and you can do what works well for you. We are going to be using some GS Hypo Cement at the end on our knots, especially with the rings, because I feel like the rings get a little bit more wear than even a bracelet. I always say glue is kind of optional for a stretch bracelet, but I feel like with the rings, you're going to want to put some glue on it. I like GS Hypo Cement because it's super liquidy, so it kind of seeps down into the knots. You can also try to push some like E6000 into your knots as well. Again, I like to say there's more than one way of doing things, so I try to share options. Sizing is very important. This is about 2.5 inches of beadwork, and this was 2 3/4 inches. So that extra quarter made a huge difference, and this one's actually a little bit big on me. So you're gonna play with the sizing a little bit on your own finger as well. If you have a ring mandrel, that would come in handy. I don't have one here, but if you do have one, you might want to use it for this project. Oh, hello, Rosie from Buena Park. Oh, I like it. Oh, Linda, that's great. Okay, so let's begin, and I'm going to do a different color combo. So I do want to show you that there are some really beautiful purples. We did so many purple designs on Monday. It was really fun. So if you want to do this, if you're a purple lover and want to do this in purple, I did put some different purple SuperDuos in that shopping bag, some purple 8/0s. What I used for this particular ring, if you want to recreate it, is I used nickel, which is a great way of getting a metallic silver into your design. I used this one here, which is that galvanized pale lilac, and the SuperDuos that I used, I think these are luster tanzanite. So that's what made this ring here. You could also, if you wanted a little bit more purple, you could put in this purple SuperDuo, which was the opaque amethyst luster. So definitely, if you're a purple fan, like I think we all were or became after Monday's show, because it was so many beautiful purples, you can do this in purple. And then let me show you what I used for this. This one was nickel again, and it was this little fire polish. I believe this is a 3mm. So that's what I used for this one. And then I thought you could also make like a little focal bead right here if you want to use like a little flower. So don't forget to look for little focal beads, because you could just use like one in the front. Maybe we'll do that when we create the single one. That could be kind of fun to see what a focal bead would look like. Oh, hello, Kathy. Okay, so, all right, kitty. Let's go ahead and start with the single, and let's pick a pretty color palette. So I have, like I said, I have some kind of more warmer tones right here, greens and pinks. So maybe we'll do this for the SuperDuo one. So why don't we do this one? Let's do a galvanized starlight to get a little metal in there, like a little metal component. This one I think is avocado pink, which is one of my new favorite colors. So I've got avocado pink. And then this is a halo cherub. So this is what we're going to do for the SuperDuo one. So we just have a nice contrast to that purple one that I made as a sample. And then for the ring that will stack with it, let's do, what should we do? Oh, you know what? So I was tempted to use these. These are a little melon bead. They're quite nice. I also have this in 4mm. And these are 4mm as well. I haven't done this ring with a 4mm before. I sure could. You want to make sure it's not too thick around your finger because right here you don't want it to be uncomfortable. I love the avocado pink. I really do. So we can do, oh, I also really do like this strand here. These are little rondelles that I was kind of wanting to use. Well, you know what? Maybe the stacking ring can do, I really want to use the rondelles. I want to see what these look like. So maybe the rondelles with the gold or the rondelle. Ooh, let's just do the rondelles with the bronze. Let's do the rondelles with the bronze. It's not necessarily going to be a perfect set match for this one, but you could definitely make it so. But I really want to see what this looks like worked up. I think this will be really pretty. Okay, I'm seeing a bunch of hearts. So let's do this. Because I haven't played with this size rondelles before in a jewelry design, and I think they're really a neat little shape and size. So I'm just going to cut this strand. So we'll be making a total of 2 rings today, but definitely you can make so many more. And this is just an antique bronze. Okay. I think that'll be really pretty. I like adding a little metallic to these rings. I think it just adds a nice little touch. Okay, and then we're gonna cut some opal on. So although our ring only has about 2.5 inches of beadwork, we need to go through it twice and we need to be able to tie it off. So we're actually gonna cut 10 inches of stretch cord. So I'm using opal on. I'll show you the size in just a minute. Okay, so 10 inches of the stretch cord. Okay, and it is 0.7. So that's what we're gonna use for this. And we're gonna give it a good tug. We're just gonna stretch it out a little bit. Okay, and we're gonna put a bead stopper on about 3 inches from the end. So that just prevents the beads from falling off. And I am going to use my twisted wire needle. I do like using it. Okay, so you just put that through. So it's got like a nice needle. Oh, hello from Maryland. Hello, Vicky. Okay, so we're going to just add some beads in any pattern we like. It can be, you know, a big band of metallic in the back, or it can be whatever you like. So let's just maybe add a bunch of these bronze. Okay, so I put 5 on, slide it on down, and then let's add one of these rondelles, maybe 3 of the rondelles. Let's do like a nice little pattern. Okay, 1, 2. Now I'm using 8/0 Toho rounds. You could use 11. I did test it out on this one, and 11 does work to still do the double strand. So it does work, it's just tighter, but it does work. Oops, my needle came off. Okay, let me just get one of these down first. I haven't used these little rondelles before, so I just wanna make sure their hole is big enough. Yeah, it is a little tighter. So the hole on these rondelles, I would say, is closer to the hole of a 11/0. So these are a little bit tighter. So then let's do, you know what, I'm gonna do one of those. Now I'm gonna do 2 more bronze, then let's do another one. And we're just making this up as we go. And my needle keeps coming off. Now, if you just do this with all 8-O's, you're not going to need the needle for the first part at least. Okay, so you just make a pretty little pattern, whatever you like. I kind of like that where I'm seeing a lot more of the bronze. Okay. And you can always add like a statement bead in here too. Like, I don't think this really matches it, but you could do like a flower that will sit at the front of your ring. So you could kind of have fun with that too. Think if there's like maybe a leftover bead even, maybe you made a jewelry set and you've got a really pretty focal bead left, but you've only got 1 of it or 2 of it. That could be really fun too. Okay. Keep going. Maybe I want 5 of these rondelles in between. So we'll do another set of 2 and then a rondelle, and then we'll finish it off with more of the bronze. And we're going to lay it against a ruler here in a moment just to see what we've got. And then like in this one, I used the check fire polish. So that was nice because they're a bit sparkly. Yeah, I think a focal bead would be really fun. Like I have a few like Raven's Journey, like 9mm flower beads that I've got just 1 or 2 of, but I've kept them because they're so pretty. So I feel like that this would be a great use if you've just got that 1 bead left and you don't know what to do with it, but you've kept it and then you're like, I know I'll find a project. This might be the project. Okay. So this is the main design here, and this is just going to be a pretty little stacking ring that you can make multiples of. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to finish it off with more of the 8-O bronze seed beads, and then we'll see our length. And for me, it was about 2.5 inches, seemed to be about right for my finger. But again, if you have a ring mandrel, this is a good use for it. You can put it on that ring mandrel and try to see the sizing. Okay. Oh, with a ladybug. I love that idea. Okay. I love that idea. The ladybug would be perfect on here. Okay, let's see what we've got. So it goes pretty quickly here. So here we're just gonna lay it up against the side. We're not quite to 2.5, we're almost there. I'm gonna do a little bit more, and then I'm gonna try it on my finger and just lay it on my finger and see where I'm at, just to kind of double check. Okay, so this is probably about 2.5 right here. So I'm just gonna make sure that all the beads are down by that bead stopper. I'm gonna go ahead, put it on my finger and see if it's about right. You're kind of like estimating it here once you know your basic size, and I think that's gonna be good. Okay, so now we're ready to do the second round, because remember I said we're gonna do 2 rounds on this. So we're gonna take off our bead stopper and we are gonna go back through our beads. And this is when the needle comes in handy. And I'm curious how easily it's gonna go through those rondelles, because the rondelle hole is quite a bit smaller than the hole to the 8-O's. So let's just see what we've got. Okay, so it went through the 8s super easily, which is what it did when I was doing my sample. So you can even kind of try it on at this point that you've gone through it a little bit here. Just gently put it on, see if it feels right. Like that's pretty comfortable for me on that bigger finger right there. And so that's a good way of checking before you go too far if you need to adjust it at all. And now we're just gonna keep going through our beads. How many beads all together? Ooh, great question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Oh no, 27, 28, 29. 29 beads all together for my ring. Yes. So Moxie Girl, great question. I think what having the double strand helps with is I think it helps that it doesn't outstretch over time. I think it just makes it a bit stronger too. I feel like the act of putting it on and off your finger, your hands get a lot of use. Especially if you're a creator, an artist, a crafter, a beader, you know that you're always using your hands. So I feel like the ring, a stretch ring, is going to get more wear and tear than a stretch bracelet. So I did want to go through it twice, just for that added measure of security. Do you have to go through it twice? No, you don't have to. You can go through it once. If that feels secure to you and you feel good about your knots and you're going to add a little glue to your knots you're probably going to be totally fine. Okay, so now I'm to my first rondelle, and this is where I'm curious how this stretch cord going through this is going to do twice. So I'm going to just take my needle, put it through. It's also going through some of the other beads next to it. We're going to give it a tug, and we're going to hope it goes through. It does. It's definitely stiffer to go through that rondelle than it was to go through the Beadaholiques, for sure, but it still went through. Okay, and then you can tighten it up as you go. And you want to keep it kind of loose so it's not too stiff. And we're going to keep going. Oh, good. Okay, Moxie Girl, good. I'm glad this is helpful then. Yeah, it should definitely help with the stretching out over time. Going through these beads twice like this, and then I'll show you how you tie it off when you do something like this. Again, we're going through another one of those rondelles. I love the idea of these as fidget rings. My son is a huge fan of fidget toys of any form. They help him with his anxiety. So now I am going to gift him these. I love that. I'll give these to him and see if these help. Okay. Okay, so my needle does keep slipping off. I think it's because I only cut 10 inches of the stretch cord. I didn't want to waste supplies, but I think it is meaning my needle tends to slip off a little bit more than usual here because there's not that long of a tail. Okay. And you can see that once I get a little loop here, I actually stop pulling on the needle and I start to pull on the stretch cord. I think that's just a little bit better on the wear and tear of your needle. You do get a big pack of 50, but still, I feel like I don't want to over stress that needle too much. Oh, Thaisa. Oh my gosh. Then we will have to have a chat because yes, we are the same way. My son goes to school with multiple fidget toys in his bag. He has to have them in his pocket and in his bag, and they do help. He has his favorites and they definitely help. Okay. So here we go. We're coming around, but you do want to stretch it out a little bit just to make sure that it's not too stiff. And we're going to go ahead and continue until we get back to our starting point, but it should be pretty easy now because the only beads left to go through are those nice 8/0 Toho rounds. Oh, so Tracy, the beads are the 8/0 Toho rounds, and I believe these are the 3mm rondelles. You can also use a 2 or 3mm check bead. I do have some 4mm on my table. I was thinking more of them as like focal frontal beads, like here, if you put them here, just so they're not against the inside of your finger and uncomfortable. Oh, you're welcome, Francie. Yes, I am always, there's a lot of things to buy these days, and I definitely am always thinking, how can we save money? How can we stretch our supplies? That's why I also say don't throw away anything. Like even the scraps to your wires, like we'll be able to turn those into eye pins, and there's lots of things we can do. Or like here, you could use a beautiful focal bead that was like one bead left over from a strand you have. Okay, so we're almost there. We just have a few more to go. So we're just gonna keep going. That darn tail keeps getting lost. I'm gonna probably overcut the amount of cord I use for the next ring when we do the SuperDuo ring, just so I don't have this problem. But it is, you can do this with 10 inches. You just sometimes have to put that needle back on. Okay, we just got a few more beads, and you can see I'm even stretching it out a little bit as I go. It's just a little easier to get through those beads when you have a bigger gap there. Almost there. One more bead. So you want to come back to your starting point where you've got both tails together. So you see here, there's that one tail exiting. I'm back to my starting point. My thread came out again. My goodness. But my needle's already through, so I'm determined to not have to redo that needle. There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, there. Okay. Okay, we're almost there. So we have our ring. We have done a double strand, stretch it out, make sure it feels comfortable. You can put it on your finger at this point. Make sure you like everything, the sizing, how it feels. And now we're ready to tie our knot. So you see how both strands are coming out together. You know, I think it can be, Lisa. I think you could wear these and wash your hands because I don't think this glue dissolves in water or anything like that. And the cord should be fine too. I do worry maybe over time soap, just because any type of perfume, lotion, anything on a cord or a jewelry component can kind of wear it down a bit. So I'm not too sure about a lot of soap on here, if that in time might affect the stretch cord, but these should be pretty durable. Okay, so now I'll take it off. And I think it would look really cool to have like 3 of these stacked up. You can definitely do that whole stacking ring look with these guys. Okay, so we've got our ring. And now we're just going to take our 2 ends that are together, coming out of that same bead, or not the same bead, but the same spot. Make a simple overhand knot, pull it down, give it a tug. And now we're gonna go through once. I believe this is called a surgeon's knot. Go through twice. Oh, thank you, Linda. I love SuperDuos. Okay, so now we've got that knot, and then give it a good tug. And you can even kind of stretch it out this way, pull on it a little. I always am like, how can I kind of put a little wear on that knot while I still have the strings to play with? So there we go. And then what we'll do is I want to do it at the very end because I only want to open this once because I always have a hard time getting the cap back on. At the very end, we're going to go in and we're going to put a dab of glue right over our knot. And that's going to help to seep in. But you'll still be able to stretch your bracelet, even if you put, or not your bracelet, your ring. But you can see it's a very nice stretchy ring and it's got those double strands through it. Okay, so now we're ready to do our SuperDuo. See, I think these are cool. I really want to wear these as like you kind of can roll them down too, which is neat. See, they look cool when you start to stack them up. Have a bunch of different colors, different designs. You can wear them on different fingers, like over here. You can put it here. I put another one on. You can kind of play with it. So it's really kind of neat. You can do a lot of different fun things. I like the idea of a focal bead too. Okay, so we're gonna put that one aside. So that's how you do the single one. So really easy to do. The 8-O's work great. Now we're gonna do our SuperDuo. So here is our SuperDuo stretch ring. So this will be fun too. So for this one, the colors I pulled out, I'm gonna put those beads aside. What did we say? We said we were gonna do the avocado pink with the 8-O. We were gonna do the halo cherub for the SuperDuo. And I think we're gonna do the galvanized starlight for the gold. So we're gonna be able to get some good, like a good metallic color in here too. I do like having a little bit of the metal look because I think a lot of rings have metal to them. So if you pick a metallic-y seed bead, it kind of mimics that look. Okay, so we're just gonna put our beads out. Okay, and I am gonna cut a little bit extra long. So I think you could do this project with about 12 inches of Opalon. I'm gonna cut myself about 15 inches just so that that needle hopefully doesn't slide off so much. And then we'll just see how much I have left over. So we can kind of you know, reverse engineer the exact amount to have. Okay. Oh, I like it, Tracy. Oh, okay, Laura, that's a great idea. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It's like that little dip in the big eye needle. It's almost like it locks it in there. That's a really good idea. Maybe I should switch to big eye needles sometimes with like the stretch cord. All right, so I just kind of gave it a little tug to kind of pre-stretch it a little bit. You don't have to do a lot. Yes, Vicky, they can. You can definitely do that. So Vicky's asking, can the rings be doubled using a common bead the way we did the stretch bracelets a couple weeks ago? Yep, absolutely. And you're going to see that this is almost going to mimic like a double strand as well, because we're going to use the 2 holes of the SuperDuos. So yes, play with it. So all the different techniques you've learned for making stretch bracelets, try to think how you can adapt them to stretch rings. It's like a whole fun new avenue to explore. So yeah, you can do that for sure. Okay, so bead stopper on, a few inches. That's about 3-4 inches from the base. Maybe I'll slide it down just a little bit. Okay, so again, what I love about SuperDuos, there's no right or wrong. We get to just have fun picking them up. They are a very nice little 2-hole bead that looks the same on all sides, which is so handy. Okay, and we're gonna pick up a SuperDuo through any hole. Don't worry about which one. So just pick up a SuperDuo, and then we're gonna pick up an avocado pink. So if you're doing 2 colors of the 8-Os, just pick up one of your colors, and then another SuperDuo, and another avocado pink. So you're gonna keep one color on one side of the ring and one color on the other side. So we're just going to basically pick up SuperDuo, seed bead, SuperDuo, seed bead, SuperDuo, seed bead. And we're going to do that for the full 2.5 inches of our ring. And you can check your own ring size. If you need it to be a little less, a little more, you can check that. Okay. So this is what it looks like, and it's all wiggly. The SuperDuos are going in all directions, and that's totally fine. They're going to do that until we secure this and start our second row. So I was also trying to think if you could do this with other 2-hole beads. And I think the answer is yes. The only thing to keep in mind is the thickness of the 2-hole beads, because you want the ring to be comfortable to wear. I don't like rings that are too thick on my finger. I feel like I don't wear those because they're just, I'm always thinking about it. Like I'm like, oh, I've got a ring there. Something's kind of rubbing against the inside of my finger. So just keep in mind the thickness of your beads. But other than that, I think you could use other 2-hole beads. Oh, I love it, Moxie girl. Can you use mini duos? I think you could use mini duos. The fact that I could get the strand 2 times through the hole of an 11-0 makes me think that a mini duo probably doesn't have a hole that's any smaller than the 11-0s. So I would think you could do mini duos. That would be really cool. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to keep going. So it's just a seed bead, a SuperDuo, a seed bead, a SuperDuo. Okay. And then these do kind of tend to kink up a little bit. So when we do lay this down on our ruler, we're just going to want to make sure that this is not too kinked. But you see how we've got those, and that the other hole is obviously just kind of hanging out right now. Yes, large eye beading needles. I think those are a great option. Maybe Michelle, or I'm sorry, Thaisa can put them in the shopping bag so others can just see what those look like. If someone's not familiar, they're a really great tool as well. And you know, I feel like if you were really patient, you might be able to do this one without a needle, because on this one, we are gonna have to keep it to 1 pass through. But I feel like it'll be extra secure because it's a double strand anyways, it's a double rotation. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna lay this on and see where we're at. And I'm gonna kind of stretch it out a little without straining the stretch cord, just so I can actually see, because it's kind of curling up a little bit. Okay, we are almost there. So if you look here, I would say one more seed bead, one more SuperDuo, and we're gonna be good. And I know it doesn't look neat and tidy at this point. Okay, so one more seed bead, one more SuperDuo, and then we do need to end in a seed bead because we started in a SuperDuo. So if you start with a seed bead, end in a SuperDuo. If you start with a SuperDuo, end in a seed bead. Okay, so this is what we have. This is about 2.5 inches. So now what we'll do is we are going to take off our bead stopper. We're going to come back and we're going to go through the SuperDuo and the seed bead and the next SuperDuo. So just retrace your steps again. And I want to go through all 3 of these. Okay, so I went through the SuperDuo, the seed bead, the SuperDuo. Pull it around. Okay, and just pull it through, pull it together. You're making a loop. And again, at this point, what you can do is you can put it on your finger to kind of size it. I know it doesn't look anything like it's supposed to look at this point, but at least you can get the sizing. You can see if that feels right on your finger. Okay, so if you're good to go and you feel like that's good, if you don't, now if you did that and you don't like it, just take your needle off, pull out your stretch cord, add or subtract beads at this point. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we are going to jump down to the other hole in the SuperDuo that we're exiting. So we exited this SuperDuo right here. That's where our string is coming out. That's where our stretch cord is coming out. So it's coming out that hole that's on the same round as your seed beads. So we are just gonna go ahead and jump down like we do in bead weaving to the next hole. So your thread bridge is going to be a stretch cord thread bridge. So if you can see right there, it's just a little thread bridge. Now we are going to go add our second color of seed beads between all of our SuperDuos. So I wanted to do the bright gold. This is galvanized starlight. So you could also do a little bit of a softer gold here, which is this, I think this is silver lined light topaz. If you want like that type of sparkle and not like a full metal look, which could be really cool too. I keep saying cool today. I don't know why, guys. I must have watched a show. I woke up this morning at 4:45 to my 6-year-old watching The Simpsons. I don't know what happened. He doesn't ever do that. We don't have screens in the morning before school. But I think I'm a little off today because I had a very strange wake up. Oh, see you next time, Kathy. Enjoy your quilting group. Yeah, fancy, cool. All right, so we added the gold, so we don't have to add any more seed beads. We're gonna just add now another gold. So I'm sorry, we don't have to add any more SuperDuos. I said seed beads. We don't have to add any more SuperDuos. All the SuperDuos for this project have been added. Now we're just gonna add another seed bead. And then go through the SuperDuo, add another seed bead, go through the next SuperDuo. So you see how we're building that along, and just keep going, one seed bead at a time. And you can probably tell you would have so many different options for colors for these type rings, because it's just using SuperDuos and 8/0 Toho round seed beads. So this is what we're building out. Hello, Myra. Okay, so now we're going to keep going, and you just kind of push these down into place when you want to use them. So when you want that that SuperDuo, you just push it down, go through it, and on to the next one. And you don't have to use 2 colors of seed beads. If you want to do the same color of seed bead, you definitely can. Just play with it, have fun. Okay, so here we go. It almost looks like it's going to be just a flat round. And as I was making this project, I was a little bit worried about that too. I thought I was going to end up with a flat round, but it ended up coming into shape at the end. So it's kind of fun to see this take form. Okay, we just keep going. Okay. Ooh, turquoise would be beautiful. Turquoise would be beautiful. Oh, Burl, Taisa can put a link up for the videos on YouTube. We have thousands of them. So I've been making videos with Beadaholique since 2011. I've lost track. I think I'm up to like 1,500 maybe, just myself, but there's other great designers too who over the years have made videos. So there's a huge jewelry making library. They're all free, of course. The content, there's no like blocking of the content or anything. They're all free. So it's a great resource to check out for videos on every type of jewelry making, even like chainmail, soutache, some of those more kind of specialty jewelry techniques you'll find up there too. Resin, lots of stuff. And then all of these videos are saved on there too. So, you know, we've of course talked about Beadaholique is closing, and that's why everything's 40% off and all of that stuff. But the good thing is we will keep the YouTube channel up. So there will still be these videos that you can always go back and rewatch. Okay, so we're almost there. Hi, Maria. Okay. So we're almost there. This is how our little ring is looking. And those SuperDuos are just so perfect for creating this like double round. Oh yes, great note. Linda, you can save the PDFs from some of our projects. So if there is a project that you really like on the Beadaholique website, it would be a good idea to save the PDF now. If it's a loom project or like a peyote stitch project, there's probably also the pattern there in the instructions as well. And so when you click on download the PDF, usually that also has like a bead chart, and that's totally free too. So you can go look for like loom projects on Beadaholique and you will see free patterns as well, which is really nice. Okay, last bead. So we're gonna do the same thing we did for when we did the first round. We're actually going to go through that SuperDuo that's already attached, already anchored. We're going to go through the next seed bead next to it. Okay, pull it through. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to tighten this up a little before you go any further. So what you're going to do is you're just going to pull on your cords from the directions they're coming. Give them a little tug and see how it kind of nicely took more of a upright shape instead of being more of like fanning out like a flower. So there's our little ring, and it's actually really comfy. This is really smooth right here. So that's nice. And now what we're going to do is we need to work our cord. See, we've got the cord in 2 different places. The top round is exiting this SuperDuo. The bottom round is only exiting this seed bead. I want both to be exiting the same SuperDuo. Oh, good, Kat. Yes, try these. And yes, and they're very comfy and easy to get on and off your knuckles, and they do stretch. So I understand exactly what you're saying. So they will stretch over the knuckle, which is nice too. That's a great idea. Okay, so I had, where am I? I have this cord exiting right here. So that's exiting the SuperDuo. I need this one to go one more to exit the SuperDuo too. So we're just going to go through that bottom SuperDuo. So let's get a good sight on it. And I don't want to go through the seed bead next to it, so I just want to go through the SuperDuo. Okay. So now we have both cords exiting the same SuperDuo, so we can tie them. So they're basically in the same spot on our ring, and this is kind of your last chance to do any adjustments. Make sure there's no gaps. Just make sure you're kind of overall happy with your design. And then you've got your 2 strings right here. Oh, I like that. Diane, great question. So if you were doing these for someone who was younger, so I did 2.5 inches of beadwork for me. I probably have, like, this is a pretty average size finger. This one's a little smaller. So let me do this one. So this is a little big for my ring finger. Maybe 2 inches of beadwork, 2.25. Changing the size by just 1/4 of an inch really makes a huge difference. Like I said here, this was 2 3/4 and this was 2 1/4. So quite a big difference, I mean 2.5. So it does make a big difference. Okay, so now we're gonna tie it. So we're gonna do the same tying technique, and this one string is a little long, so I can just cut that off a little bit to give me even strands. And we're just going to tie a knot here. So just a simple overhand knot, pull it on down. So it is gonna rest right between. So you will kind of see the knot a little bit. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it kind of blends in. And then we're going to do again where we go through 2 passes. So 1 pass, 2 pass, pull it down, give it a little tug, kind of get it in there, and you can see that that knot is right there. Now, if you really want to, I think you probably, I can do this experiment right here. We can see if I can even take the cord and get it through an adjacent bead to kind of hide that knot a little bit. I haven't tried this before, but why not? Let's try. Because those 8/0 seed beads are pretty nice and big. So if I take my cord and I go through the beads next to it, does that hide my knot a little bit? Oh, it does. It kind of tucks the knot in a little bit. Remember, your knot is between these two. It's not on one side or the other. So I did notice it does create just the slightest little dip right there, but you can turn that to the inside when you're all done. Oh, good, yay. Okay, I'm glad you guys like them. This was fun to put together, this class. Okay, so this ring is good to go. And now we're gonna add a little bit of glue to our knot. So you can see you can flip this ring back and forth. So eventually your glue knot can be on the inside and you'll just have this as the outside. So that'll be our little ring. So I want to show the rings one more time because once I put glue on them, I'm not going to be able to put them on my fingers. So here is the SuperDuo one with like the rosy tones. This one was the SuperDuo one. I'll put this one on a different finger. This one was with the purples, kind of purple and silvers. And then this one could stack on top of it. And you see I'm just rolling them. I'm just rolling them on. So there we can create like a little stack design. And then we have this little bronzy one. So you can have fun with your colors. So easy, pretty easy to do, pretty quick to do. Oh, good, Rhett, good, you can try this today, yay. Yeah, they're fun and they're pretty easy to do. Okay, so the final step, and I would recommend this because like I said, I think of all jewelry, rings are gonna get the most wear and tear because we are gonna work with our hands, we're gonna pick up our bags, we're gonna do crafting. So I would add a little bit of glue. So expose your knot so it's on the outside. So Tracy, I would definitely probably make yours a little bit smaller. So I would start with maybe 2 1/4 inch of beadwork. I did 2 1/2 for me. I would start with 2 1/4, and then that step I showed where it's like before you tie any knots or even do the double strand, you just try it on your finger, make sure you like it, and then you can take a bead off or add a bead. So I would start with the little single strand one. That would be easiest. And once you've got the sizing for your single strand, you can apply that sizing convention to your SuperDuo. which will be easier. But you can definitely make these even with a smaller finger for sure. Okay, I always hesitate showing this on camera because I can't get the lid back on camera. But this is GS Hypo Cement. So this here is a very liquidy glue. And you see it's got a very fine applicator tip. Now mine's well used, so it's all gunked up. It has this needle that goes into the tip. And when you take that needle out, some glue starts coming out. And we are just going to put that dab of glue right onto our knot. And it kind of seeps in there, which is why I like it for stretch. And then we're going to set that aside. And then we're going to go back to this one and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to set that. We're going to put a little bit of glue on there and set it aside to dry. And when it's all dry, we'll go trim our tails. Now I'm going to try my hardest to get this back on. Oh, hey, it worked. That is where my eyesight feels like it can't do that very well, but there we go. And then you put it back on. So those are our stretch rings. So that was fun. I really like this little project. I haven't done that many rings. Does it stick to the beads? So yes. So the glue, like right here, it will stick to the beads that are next to it. So that glue is going to kind of secure the knot and is actually going to glue the knot a little bit to your beads. But it's not going to affect your other beads. So like here, this one is already glued. It's still super stretchy because all of these beads here are not glued. Great question though. So it will glue it right back there next to the beads where your knot is, which will actually help to make it more secure. Yes, Vicki, I'm with you. Oh, Rhett, have a great day. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys one more fun thing that I have not shown before if you love seed beads. I just want to show this real quick since we finished our project. These are some bead assortment bags of seed beads, and they're crazy because they're half a kilogram or a kilogram. So they're 100 grams or 50 grams. I'm just going to show this real quick, and Deb showed this too. They're kind of like a grab bag of Toho seed beads. So that's really kind of like cool to have this many seed beads. So this is the 1,000 grams, which is huge. So it's 1 kilogram and it's assorted seed beads. And they are so neat and they're Toho. So let me put this down because my lighting is different. Okay. But there's just these bags of beautiful, like different sizes, different colors. So if you are a seed bead lover and you do a ton with seed beads, these are super fun. And a bunch of different colors, different finishes, and you get a lot of them too. Like that's so cool. Again, I'm using the word cool. I don't know. I'm going to blame the early wake up. But there are just these beautiful, big bags of seed beads. So that was the 1,000 gram, 1 kilogram. And then there's one that's half that size, which is 500 grams, which has a bunch of beautiful assorted Toho seed beads as well. And these are all Toho. So these are all glass Toho seed beads. So pretty. Just a beautiful assortment. So if you love working with seed beads, these are a fun item. They're not labeled. They're not labeled. I mean, some of them are. Actually, some of them are. So this one says Marionberry. This one just says 54. So yeah, some of them are labeled, some of them aren't. Okay, I love reading the comments, guys. Thaisa, that's fun. How can you be running low on seed beads? Yes, and they are varying sizes. So like this is an 8, this is an 11. I noticed in the other bag, this other bag had a 6. So it's basically a big grab bag of seed beads at a really good discount. So if you are a seed bead lover and use them and go through a ton of them, this is a really fun item. So this was the 500 grams, the half kilogram. All right. So those are fun. I'm going to have to think what to do with those. Those are going to be great. All right. I'm going to show this one more time. here's our pretty little rings. I can't show the ones that are drying, but here are the finished ones. And then I hope everyone has so much fun making stacking rings. So have fun with those. I'm gonna flip the camera up so we could say goodbye. And then next Monday, we are gonna have a fun shopping show. I went shopping on the Beadaholique website and I found over 100 items that are under $1. Some of them are 13 cents and some of them are like 30 cents. And Monday at 2 p.m., I'm gonna show them all and we're gonna have a fun shopping event of 100 items under $1. So that will be fun. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. I've got my beading glasses on. I always talk about this. I'm swapping. I have my reading glasses and my beading glasses. Yeah, the dollar event should be fun. I think I shared when we did this last time, which was a couple of months ago. I just love the idea of like the dollar store concept, whereas like you go in and you know nothing is more than $1, although now they've raised their prices, but I still want to keep it $1 or less. So yeah, everything in next Monday's show is going to be $1 and under. And I'm stopping myself from buying some of it now because I'm like, that's not fair. So I will wait to buy for like 2-3 days after the show because I want you guys to get it too because there's some really cool pieces. There's these like cool chandelier earring parts that I definitely want. If you guys don't buy them, I'm gonna buy them. But you guys get first pick. That's only fair. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Marianne. I know I'm gonna use the word cool all day. It's my catchphrase. It's just gonna be cool. All right, thank you guys as always. I hope you had fun with this project. Thaisa put that reminder in there. If you have anything in your shopping bag, please remember to check out. Everything is 40% off, so a good discount. And then if you ever want to go back and rewatch this show, it should be available in just a few minutes. So once we say goodbye, I think it only takes 2 or 3 minutes for the replay to become available so you can go back and look at sizing and ideas. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Thaisa. I know I'm going to be texting you, Thaisa, and we're just going to be saying cool, cool, cool. And we need to talk fidget toys for our kiddos. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to text you. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next week. Bye.